Get started today, and just kind of do a quick overview of this activity and break you into teams so you can start the activity here. Um, so in this unit, we're working on transformers again, which are the heart of large language models that we use today. Um, Unfortunately, the large language models today are very big and take a long time to work with and train. But companies are still doing it. There's a lot of options as far as taking one and customizing it, training it, adding some more stuff onto it. Remember when we did convolutional neural networks, we looked at some options for convolutional images, processing images. Um, Rather than building a whole network and training it from scratch, we often took a pre-built framework, a pre-built network, and and then added on maybe a couple layers to it. Often we had pre-trained weights, and then we could either leave those pre-trained weights there, or we could kind of do some additional training with those. We're going to kind of look at some of the same ideas with large language models, and companies are doing that with these. So we'll look at what we call fine-tuning these large language models in different ways. Later on, we'll look at other ways of working with these large language models, like giving it supplemental data and some things like that. But this is more like getting under the hood and actually training the weights, changing the weights of these large language models. In order to do that, we have to use older large language models. So we're going back to the GPT kind of 2 era. So back maybe 3 years ago, where the models were small enough we could actually use them. So this actually, the notebook actually comes from Hugging Face, this French company again that has all these different models and this huge website of models now. And this was the notebook they had there walking you through this. So we'll walk through this same notebook, and with basically ones I've had to do some tweaks over the year, last year and this year to get to work, but it should all run so you can work through it. And we'll have you work through this activity where we'll ask you these different questions about it here. Now, to help with we'll break you into teams of we'll try to set up teams of 3 today. So we'll see. We've got right now. So right now we've got the baseball team is away for spring break already. So Mason, Marcos, and Ethan are on the baseball team. So they're on a team. They actually did this yesterday, I believe, before they left. So we'll break us students into some teams here, and then and we have Andrew here. So one of the teams is going to want to get on Zoom and loop Andrew into this so you can work together. So like before, you'll want to make a copy of this learning activity and share it with your team members here. I'm not going to explicitly assign roles. You can just put your names under each role. And again, this is color coded, and this is particularly for the asynchronous students here. So if you put your name in, you should expect to do, like if you're a blue spokesperson, you should be doing all the blue answers here for that. And your teammates will be filling in the other answers here. My expectation is that, so again, and sometimes some students may not participate with their team, and that's fine. I will, if I grade, as I grade this, like the blue, if you're a blue spokesperson, I'll make sure I'll look and see if you've answered all the blue questions, and also if someone on your team has answered all the any student questions, because there's a number of any student questions. So you have to decide or figure out who's going to do those. So that's the key. Questions on this? Okay, let's do teams here. Rihanna's here. Why don't we do Lucia and Ariana, we'll have you on a team. We'll do Johnny and Stefan there. And then we'll do Andrew, let's put you on the same team as Johnny and Stefan there to start. So you'll have to maybe get on Zoom so you can communicate with, or one of you on Zoom so you can communicate with Andrew on that. Sound good? And again, we're just going through this, get the activity, do the write-up there, and that's all we're doing today. Hopefully you'll get a better understanding of some of the internals of how these transformers work from this. So, and I'll assign everyone who's not here in person to a remote team. And again, we might have someone showing up later than late here, and we can deal with that. Sound good? Okay, let me copy this. All right. I think I have a solution. I'm recording this, so I'll try to explain it. So there's this error. You might get an error in section 5 here because it looked like I thought we needed to use an older version of transformers there. That's what the original code is, but there seemed to be some conflict there. So I've gotten rid of some of this code where we're installing particular versions, this old version of Transformer 4.3, 31.0, and these other things. And instead, I just, the new code just says install transformers and then dash upgrade means to upgrade it if you already installed it, because you may have installed it way up here. I'm not sure if that's the current version or not. So if you say replace all the pip installs with just this pip install transformers dash upgrade, it should upgrade it. And then if you import transformers and print out the transformers version, it should be 4.49. And again, I think you get the same thing if you run this up here, if you do this pip install and setup, and then up there you will import transformers and print out the version. But again, here we are getting version 4.31. The old version was installed up there. So we want to get the newest version. We want to be getting here or there. We want to get version 4.49. Oh, and if you get that, then the rest of this should run without an error. Looks like I'm still getting an error here. Let me look at that. But again, so this should import, bring in, let's make sure this should run and set up our tokenizer. And then we should run this and it should generate our text. I've saved this, so new students should see this saved version that should work in all situations.